All right. It is Winning Women's Wednesday.
It sure is.
Yes.
Yes.
So excited.
And as per usual, I'm woefully outnumbered by winning women.
Yeah.
You are.
Three this
Three
week.
winning women.
Yes, absolutely. So, co-host Michelle, co-host Ashley, who do we have?
We have Charmaine Byers. I don't know. The list is so long, Charmaine. I mean,
man.
what do we need? She is magnetic. She is community driven. She is a real estate boss. She is an author at this point. She's wearing so many hats, and we love her for it because she is just a ball of energy, and we're so excited to have her
And we
here.
love her pink.
We love her pink.
Pretty and pink.
Pretty and pink.
Absolutely.
Thank you guys so much for having me. I am excited to see what we're going to jump into today.
Awesome. Well, Michelle, maybe hit us off with a question to get us warmed up for Charmaine over here. What are you thinking?
Oh my goodness. So today I thought we would just talk about, we would go back to our normal Winning Women's Wednesday script and let's talk about how us amazing, powerful women are doing in the industry. There's so much going on right now. How are you adapting to the changes?
Well, one thing that I can say is that with Coldwell Banker Apex, the leadership there is amazing. So I think Lori and Josh have done an amazing job with preparing us for the changes. But change is inevitable.
Isn't it?
Absolutely.
And I think it's an opportunity. Anytime there's change, I think there are opportunities that we can jump in and find ways to be better, be stronger, and be different.
Well, and hold on a second, and talk about change. You did recently change your role within.
That was my
So-
question.
sorry.
I did.
Yeah. So
I
you were
did.
an amazing manager of one of the offices, and of course, because you just love to love and inspire and encourage people and everything else. But you just took a big leap of faith, didn't you?
I did, but let me tell you something. I think that was one of the hardest things that I had to do was to really step down. Part of why I had to step down is for family matters. You know, have a lot going on in my family right now. In fact, my brother was just released from the hospital yesterday.
Oh my goodness.
So
Busy girl.
There's a lot going on. So I just needed that flexibility.
Yeah.
There's something deep within me that if I can't give 1,000%, then I need to step back.
Yep.
And so that was one of the hardest things that I had to do. And having that conversation with Lori, she was so sweet and so supportive and just really understood that, you have to do that. And as women, I think it's really important that you don't stay somewhere too long just for the title.
I think that is so prophetic because as women, we want to give everything to everyone.
Yes.
All the time.
All the time. Our families, in our business relationships, in our community, in our philanthropy, and all of these things. And they're going to take as much as you're willing to give.
Absolutely.
And those are those things that I've learned too is, you've got to be genuine because they want all of Charmaine. They don't want just a part of Charmaine. And so if you're at that place where you can't give them all, then that's the selfless thing to do is
Right.
to also set back. So for selfish reasons, that was something that led you to that decision, but it's also selfless to say it's time for somebody else to come in here and carry the
Absolutely.
torch.
Absolutely.
Well, and we talk about that in coaching with work-life harmony, because I don't like to say balance.
It is harmony.
Your work-life harmony can change from season to season.
Absolutely.
And you having the knowledge of yourself to recognize that it was time for that season to change
Right.
is so powerful, because
Right.
it could have waited until you got to a situation where you were just completely burnt out.
Right.
Trying to deal with all the irons in the fire.
Right.
And it could have been a disaster. And that's what happens for most people. So I
Yes.
applaud you for recognizing that and
Yeah.
taking that step. That's incredible. Very powerful.
Absolutely. And just when you think about it, it's really important. Well, it's important to me to be able to harmonize life, right? And you said it perfectly. That's the key thing. That's what I enjoy is the harmonization of life and being able to pull different things and bringing all of me into all and every situation.
Yep.
And sometimes you just can't do that, and you got to figure out, okay, where can I?
What's got to give?
What's got to give, and where can I get some relief? And so, I mentioned that my brother was just released from the hospital on yesterday. Even with family, like there has to be boundaries.
Sure.
Because I want to be there to help everybody. You know, especially my mom and my brothers and, you know, my sons, my children. It's just a lot. And you want to be there, but at what point do you say, you know what? Okay, this is what I need to do. I need to delegate this. I need so-and-so to help me with this. I need you to help me with this. And really just using the tools and the resources that are around us to make sure that we're not overwhelmed.
Yep.
Right?
Who taught you that? Those are some great skills.
That's living.
Yeah.
That's living and knowing yourself.
That's huge.
So that leads me into another thing because a little birdie told me that you might be about ready to release a book or a workbook. And so let's talk about that for a second.
Okay. Well, that is it's called Practice Till You Make It. And it is a guide for entrepreneurs. So, and it's part of me pouring into this book, and it's my personal journey.
Yep.
And I thought that it would be good to share it because I know that as an entrepreneur, sometimes it can be a lonely island. You feel like you don't know what you're doing.
So true.
You don't know how
We
to
just
do
talked
it.
about that on Fired Up Friday that we did.
Yes.
And that was the same thing. It was isolation, burnout, need a community to understand, to uplift you when you don't have one. Yes.
All of that. And it's just, you know, one of those things where, you know, you have a vision, you don't know how to get to the vision.
Yep.
But it's about bringing people in. And what I really believe is that we are connected to the people that can help us get to the next level.
Amen, sister.
Absolutely.
I mean, you know somebody that I may need to know to help me get to the next level. So bringing that community in, and it's just a guide, and it's just, you know, encouragement. And, you know, just something that an entrepreneur can reference. So it's me pouring back into the community, the entrepreneurial community, because
I love that.
It's huge.
Well, and that's it. So, I mean, talking about community and connecting dots and everything else, I don't remember when we first met, but then obviously we knew each other through MetroTex, and then I had a closing in the same building that your office was at.
Yes.
And so you saw me and you were like, come over here afterwards.
Yes.
And so then we sat down and we talked about what some future endeavors look like for you and where your heart was. And that was what, a year ago, somewhere around there?
Probably a little over a year.
Yeah. So, but then it was just talking about that. And I remember encouraging you because I'm like, oh my gosh, we need somebody. Of course, you always hear that, right? It's the
Yes.
same. We're in the same boat. It's like, we need energy like you, of course.
Yes.
But it was more of where your passions lied and everything else. And then it turns around and now you're hosting and championing an area realtor meeting.
Yes.
You are our chair of our community outreach advisory
Huge.
group at MetroTex.
Which
Love
I
that.
love.
And then that led me to bring you here because I'm like, we need to talk about more winning women when they're going through these journeys and everything else, which in turn allows to be exposed to so many other things, to your point, where this community just drives all the
Absolutely.
connectivity of what that next stage looks like. But okay, so let's stop and talk about the community outreach.
Ooh, yes.
Yes.
Because
What I
I'm proud of that.
love.
Yeah,
You've
I'm
got
proud
some
of
cool
that.
things coming
Yeah.
up.
You know what? I Ashley, you reached out to me.
Uh-huh.
And you were like, you know, would you mind heading up the community outreach advisory group next year? And I'm like, oh, I don't know.
And you were sick. You had no voice.
I had no
You
voice,
text me back.
that's
You're like,
right.
I'm exhausted. I'm so sick. I'm so sorry I can't answer. I'm like, don't apologize for not answering.
That is,
Yeah.
You're right. I
Yeah.
forgot about that.
Yeah.
But then in thinking about it, it was like, oh, you know what? I'm really, I love working in the community.
Yep.
There is just something about helping and being of service
Yeah.
to something, to a cause.
You get so much more when you
Lights
give.
up your soul.
Yeah.
It makes my heart beat. I mean, it really does. And I wish I could do more. So Ashley and I talked about it, and, you know, she mentioned what would be required of the role. And it just took off from there. And then, you know, I got off the phone with her when I was able to talk.
Yeah.
And I was just like, oh my God, you know what? This is a great opportunity, and it's in line. It harmonizes with who I am as a person,
Right.
with who I am in the industry. So it just worked. It just worked perfectly. So I was really excited about that.
What do we have coming up?
I thank you. I'm so excited about this. So we have MetroTex has talent question mark.
I think the question mark
Yes.
is very fair. Very fair. I'm so excited.
I know we have talent. I mean, there are people who can sing, who can dance. I mean, there's so many different talents.
Michelle can juggle.
Ooh.
She cannot juggle.
I,
But I can lift. I can lift weights.
okay. Should we
I was
sign
joking. I
you
was
up?
trying to sign her up. That's the question mark. Juggle question mark?
No,
Yeah.
no. And Ashley can play pickleball.
I can't
Yes,
play pickleball.
I know.
I don't
I've
know
seen
that's a
that.
sport. I don't know that that's a talent yet in a talent show, but
I don't know how we can incorporate that.
I don't know. We'll figure it out.
Yes.
I like
Yeah.
it.
Yes. But this event that we're doing is, again, it's community outreach.
And so fun.
It's so fun. So all of the proceeds from this event will go to the Builders of Hope.
Oh,
Wonderful.
fantastic.
That's fantastic.
So, I mean, I'm just a huge proponent of bringing awareness and exposure to organizations who are doing amazing things. So that's happening on September 17th. Watch your emails, realtors, if you're out there. Watch your emails. You should get something from Metrotex. And we want to sign up. I want you guys to sign up.
Has anyone signed up for anything really unusual yet?
Not yet, and not that I'm aware of. So
Okay.
we have an upcoming meeting to see what we've gotten so far, and I'm so excited. So
I did sing Candyland in the sixth grade talent show. I don't think anyone wants me to repeat that. So
Game. Let's do it.
I
Yeah.
would do it. Let's do it. Let's do it.
I do love it though. I can't wait to see what all of our, because realtors can be a little stuffy. It'll be so fun to see what they've really got in there, because I'm sure we've got some pretty cool, talented folks out there. So I'm excited.
I know we do. And I mean, I've seen it. I've witnessed. We have some celebrity judges.
Ooh.
So Nikki Watson, she's a celebrity to me. So,
So fun. I love it. I love
so
it.
she will be one of the judges. And of course, our CEO of Metrotex, he's going to
Go,
be one of the
Justin.
judges.
Fantastic.
Yes, that's perfect.
And I'm really hoping that the Metrotex staff will get involved as well.
I think they will.
So, but we're excited about this event. Our goal is to raise $10,000 for the Builders of Hope. And I think together we can definitely do that.
Now, let's tell people what Builders of Hope
Yes.
is in just a few sentences.
Yeah, so Builders of Hope is basically a company that builds homes, affordable homes, in areas that may not necessarily have those affordable homes. So
Does anywhere have an affordable home right now?
anywhere, right? Right. I mean,
That's a
it's
different topic.
It is a whole different topic, and that's probably a 2-hour long show. But,
Yeah.
so they basically are building homes in communities, and I just think that what they're doing is awesome. So they have a project coming up in Farmers Branch.
I did hear about that when we
That's
met with the
amazing.
Farmers Branch mayor. He's a
Yes.
huge proponent of that. And so
Yes.
that was awesome to hear after you mentioned it
Yes.
and brought it that you wanted that to be our charity of service.
Yes.
And then I honestly had not really heard about him. And then the Farmers Branch mayor comes in to talk to us and he's like, let me tell you about this Builders of Hope project.
Oh my
I'm like, how
gosh.
cool was that?
Amazing.
It's just amazing. So,
I love when things just come together.
Yeah.
and it's meant to be when
You
it
know
does,
it's meant
right?
to be.
100%.
Yeah.
Right. So basically they're building these homes. The buyers are able to buy these homes with instant equity. And I just think that right now we live in a place where nothing is affordable, like you said, Michelle. Everything
challenge.
is so expensive. Rent is even expensive. And so we all know and understand that home ownership is the key to wealth building.
Yes, it is.
And in order to do that, we've got to pull some of these resources together. So I think that James Armstrong, he is the CEO and founder of the organization. I think that he has an amazing vision and is doing an amazing job with casting that vision and getting it out there. And we want to be here to support.
Absolutely. Amen
I love
to that.
it. I love it. That's wonderful. Excited you're doing that.
Me too. Me too.
So how long have you been in the real estate industry?
I have been in the industry for 9 years now.
Wonderful. Wonderful. What did you do before?
So I have always been in the industry in
Sure.
some kind of way. So before that, I was human resources. So I was talent acquisition for real estate companies. Pretty
wow.
much. Yeah.
Wow.
So for private equity firms, I've worked for Regis, and actually I grew up with Regis.
Oh, did you really?
I literally did. That was like maybe my second corporate job.
Yeah.
And I have transferred with them. I transferred from California here with Regis.
Oh, we're so happy you did.
Me too.
Yeah.
California
Me
girl.
too.
Okay.
I know. And I always had the dream of going back when my kids graduated, but that didn't happen. I got married and haven't thought about California again.
Yeah.
What part of California?
Los Angeles.
Oh, yeah. Same.
Yeah.
I lived in Santa Clarita Valley and Agoura Hills and Thousand Oaks. Yeah.
Yes. So, been in the industry for 9 years. And I can just tell you that in that 9 years, I have been immensely blessed. I have been able to do some things that I don't think a lot of people have done or will be able to do in their real estate careers. One of the things that I've been able to do is be a manager.
Yeah.
5 years into the career, and when Lori came to me and asked me about that, I'm like, "Are you sure, Lori? Are you
Yeah, I'm sure. Talk about talent acquisition.
Yes,
yeah, right?
Yes. And we had that conversation about like what she saw in me.
Yeah.
And it was one of those things where it's like it wasn't anything that I was looking for.
Sure.
Because at that time I was at the height of my career. I was a top producer. I was moving and grooving. But she spoke my love language, which is to serve and care for people and love on people. And when she brought that to me, I made that shift, went into management, and I love it and I don't regret it because I've learned so many things.
Sure.
More than what I think I would probably have ever learned on my own.
Sure.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm appreciative of that. 9 years in the business, I've been able to work with Metrotex and just serve so many families. One of the things that I did getting back into production is I created a 3-part series for my past clients.
Oh, okay.
And it is dedicated to my past clients. And it's just a way for me to reach out to them, to let them know that, hey, I still love you. I know I hadn't been in contact with you.
No, we wouldn't do that.
Guilty. But it was a way for me to provide value for them. So
Sure.
it's a 3-part wealth building series.
Yep.
Amazing.
And so the first part is talking about, what do you do with the acquired asset? What do you do with your home now that you've acquired it? Right? The second part is talking about protecting that asset. And the third part is distributing assets. And the third part is to me the most important part because you plan for how you're going to distribute while you're living, right? So that's through wills, through trust, and things of that nature. So we had our first meeting in June, or the first session, which was amazing.
So these are in-person sessions.
These are in-person sessions.
cool.
I need to hug on my people. I haven't seen them. I need to see them.
That's great.
So it has been amazing. And so I like to look at every situation and approach everything with how can I add value.
Yeah.
My personal mission statement is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate. And I mean that with the core of who I am. It's bringing people together, bringing ideas together so you can cultivate something, cultivate that relationship, collaborate, because together we're better. I just think
There's your
that-
bumper sticker. We
Yes,
just talked about bumper
together we're
stickers.
better.
There you go. There you go. That's a bumper sticker. Together we're better. And I think if we can just keep that at the top of our mind, that we are better together, no matter what the media is saying, no matter what politics is saying, we are better and we're stronger together. And that's the core of who I am.
No, I think that's amazing. And I think it's so hard because there's so much noise in everything.
Yes.
And I think to surround yourself with other people that help you quiet the noise by showing you what really the truth is and what's going on. And so
Right.
surrounding
And
yourself.
what really matters.
Yeah, what really matters. And we were talking about on our Wednesday show just what community is and the need for community and all those things, but also recognizing when you've outgrown a community and
Absolutely.
seasons changing. And
Absolutely.
so, we're all spiritual people.
Yes.
And so I'm such a believer that, God has led me into so many rooms
Yes.
that I needed to be in, but then he calls me out of them sometimes.
Yeah.
And that's
But that's
okay.
a part of it.
That
That's
is a part of it.
The growth and the natural progression.
Yes. But I think
We're
that's
not
what we
meant to be one place forever.
Well, and I think that's the problem. Again, talking about what we did in the beginning of the show was that's what women struggle with the most is I don't want to say tapping out. That's a
Yeah.
wrestling term.
Yes, yes.
But,
sometimes it is.
It's just I got to tap out. Like
And it's not
you
a
got to
bad
come
thing.
in.
Yeah.
No.
And it's not a bad thing. And we have to be okay with saying, okay, I can take this hat off
Yep.
Yes.
and I can put this one on.
And it's
I
okay.
can take this one off and put another one on, and that still be okay. That's the amazing thing about being a woman.
Yeah. Oh, there's a lot of
Right?
amazing things about being a
Oh,
woman.
I love being a woman. I'm so glad that God blessed me to be a Black woman.
There you go.
I just love it. I love the abilities that we have. You know, how we're able to juggle and make it all look seamless.
Yes.
You know, but no one sees when I cry or when I'm hurt or when I'm upset, because I know how to get to myself when I need to.
Right.
Well, and
You
I
know?
don't. You were very good. You were very stoic in those moments of, and I've watched you just in a room or anything else, but you're cheerfully stoic. But you've just got this presence about you that I think is very calming to
Yeah.
other people,
Yeah.
and
I
that
love
is
that.
definitely a spiritual gift that God has given you to be able to do that.
Absolutely.
But it is also that thing where if you don't know how to turn the release valve at the appropriate
Right.
times,
Right.
you know, that light can dim. And I've seen so many people that
Absolutely.
have that fire and they're going and going and going, but because they don't know how to turn that release valve every once in a while. And
Right.
I'm the same way. Like if you see me shed a tear in public, I'm angry. So run the
Yes.
other way.
Yes.
Because I the same way, like I'm good with being vulnerable. I'm very upfront and approachable and an open book. But to show some raw emotion sometimes, that's something that I need to do behind closed doors
Yeah.
to
Right.
be able to just to have that release moment and everything. So what does that look for you when you get to that point of needing to take care of Charmaine? What's that self-care look like?
You know, for me, it's a lot of things. So I don't know if you guys know this about me, but I am really an introvert.
I can see that.
I would prefer to be at home with my hair wrap on and pajamas. That's
Amen,
my
sister.
jam. That
Yeah.
is my jam. My role and my position in life forces me to be in front of people and around people.
Yeah.
And like you said, God has given me a gift of empathy.
Yep.
So I am an empath and I feel. I mean,
That's a
I
lot to take
feel-
on.
It is.
Yeah.
My child's the same way.
It is. It's a lot to take on, but through the years, I've learned how to manage that gift. So sometimes I'm crying and it has nothing to do with
Yeah.
me. Nothing to do with me. I'm so much of an empath that I can call my dad in California and say, "Daddy, are you okay?" And he's like, "Oh man, something just happened." And he'll go through it. He was like, "How did you
love that.
know? How did you know?" And I'm like, "I know."
Yeah.
And that's a God-given gift. And I'm just blessed to have it.
Yeah.
And I'm
But there's a
blessed-
responsibility with
There's
it.
a responsibility,
sure.
but there is the level of maturity that comes along with that, and understanding that, yeah, you have this gift. What do you do with it? And then how do you manage it? Because you can be in a room where there's all kind of emotions. We're all going through something.
Amen, sister.
We're all going through something, and we can't take for granted that you're okay. You look beautiful today.
Thank you.
But I can't take for granted that Ashley is okay, because our response is, "How are you today?" "Oh, I'm
I'm
great.
great. I'm good.
I'm fabulous." You know, we talked a little bit about Ruben, and he always asks me on my post, on my daily post, "How are you feeling?" And I love that, because it gives me an opportunity to just, how am I feeling? You know, actually, I'm feeling pretty good. I can
Yeah.
move my limbs. I have the activities of my limbs. I can see, I can hear, I can feel. I'm not in pain. So just thinking like that. But going back to your original question of what does self-care look like for me? I love to be at home. My house is a house of peace. Me and my husband, we work really, really hard to make sure that we don't have drama, we don't have chaos, We just don't entertain any of that business in
for
our
you.
home.
Yeah.
Love
Our
that.
home is our place of refuge.
So you don't have kids or pets at home then?
We don't have any kids at home. all of our kids are out of the house. We are empty nesters.
Beautiful.
And we don't have any pets. Our lives are so busy, we don't have time for pets. But
You're a smart woman.
I can tell you, just being at home and just being at peace,
Yep.
being able to think about how I feel, because sometimes we go.
Oh, yeah.
Absolutely.
And we don't even know that we've had a headache for 3 days,
Right.
right?
Or haven't eaten
Or
for 3
haven't
days.
eaten
or
for 3 days. Yes.
I don't have that problem. I'm fine.
Well, you got your chomp sticks, so you're good.
So, it's like, it just gives me an opportunity to think.
Yep.
I'm a thinker. I'm an analyzer. So self-care to me is just getting to myself, literally. And I don't have to spa days. Those are great. I love them. But I don't have to go through that. I can just be at home, be in my PJs, be at peace, read, journal. I love to journal. I love to get my thoughts out and onto paper.
Yeah.
And I think it's therapeutic.
It is.
I mean,
Definitely.
No, we talked about that. I call it my brain dump.
And that's exactly what it is.
Yeah, just like let's dump it on a piece of paper. I might not ever look at it again, but I need to get it out and on a piece of paper,
It
and that's
feels
a release.
more important once you get it on paper.
Sure.
And then you can see like, okay, this is what I really need to tend to, and this is what I
Right.
just need to let go.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, or the whole list could be mine to let go.
Or
right,
you're
Michelle?
never going to look at it again.
It doesn't matter as long as you write it.
Yeah.
Right? Habakkuk 2:2 says to write the vision and make it plain. Sometimes that's what making it plain is to
Love that.
dump it, is to get it out of your head, because there's so many things swimming around in our head. There's so many things that we have to do. We got to be here. We need to do this. Get it out.
That's good.
Write it. Journalize it. And
Scream in a pillow.
scream in a pillow. Scream in a pillow. You say that, and it just brought something to my remembrance. So for a long time, I was a single parent, single mom of 3 boys.
Woo.
And yeah, woo is what it was.
You survived.
Right. But what I would do is, if I was hurt, if I was upset, if there was some emotions that I needed to manage, I would take a shower and cry in the shower.
Yeah.
And so
In there.
I never
we all done
really
that? Like-
wanted my boys to see me weak,
Yeah.
right? Because I didn't want them to take advantage of me.
Oh, good. Oh, I just thought it was the other way.
No, I didn't want them to take advantage of my weakness, because
Right.
I am an empath. I am very sensitive, very sensitive. So I didn't want them to take advantage of me. So I would never let them see me cry, like cry in a sense of I'm mad or hurt. Now,
Yep.
I would cry in a movie. I mean, every movie
Willy-nilly.
I'm crying.
Yeah.
Armageddon. That one always gets
Oh my
me.
gosh.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So I just, never wanted them to see me in a spot to where it's like, oh, I can use that.
Yeah.
Because they do.
Yeah.
And there were times when I would see my boys, they would lay across the couch, and it's like, I will still dot your I. I just needed to remind them that, look, I'm
Who's in
still the
charge?
mom.
Yes.
And it's like, what? I didn't do anything. I'm just reminding you.
Yeah.
Okay. So
The one I opened.
Exactly.
How old are your boys now?
So my oldest is 28.
Okay.
He'll be 28 this year. I have a 27-year-old, a 26-year-old. And then I have 2 bonus children with my husband, 20, 21, and 20.
Boys also?
1 girl and 1
Okay,
boy.
so you did get a girl.
I did get a girl, and she is the girliest girl of
Love
the
it.
girls. So I'm able to do
all
all
those
my
things.
girly things.
Yeah. Fun.
So it's fun. So her and I have a great relationship, and so like I said, we have 5 boys together, 4 children together, 4 boys and 1 girl, and we also run a business together.
Now, what is that business?
It is Canyon Creek Postal.
Okay.
And it is a global pack and ship store.
Oh, okay.
And it's located right in Richardson in
Yeah,
the
I was about to
heart.
say in Canyon Creek.
In
Yeah.
the
Yeah,
heart
there
of
you go.
Canyon
Absolutely.
Creek. Yes. So my husband and I bought that business about 3 years ago. And it just gives me chills to think about it. Neither one of us knew what the heck we were doing.
Isn't that how it goes with entrepreneurs?
It was an opportunity that landed in our lap that we felt like we could not, we have to move forward with this,
Yeah.
right? So we took on this store. We bought it from another owner, And the community was so supportive.
Yay!
So supportive, and they continue to be. And you just don't know.
Yeah.
You don't, when you're buying a business, especially when you don't know what the heck you're doing.
Sure.
You
That's
just
everything.
don't know what it is.
Yeah.
But my husband and I, we took a risk and we did that. And, the business is thriving, it's doing well. And we're just so blessed to be able to minister to people, even in that business.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Even in that business.
Well, it's everything that you do. And if you are first seeking to serve in whatever capacity, whether that's in a
Absolutely.
friendship, in your marriage, with your kids, in your business. And I had somebody come to me that's very ingrained and has grown up in ministry and in the church. And so their parents and grandparents. And going through the sale and purchase of a home for their family there was a lot of traumatic things that had gone on in that home, and a long time had just, they had packed it all in. So actually going through the process of selling the house and having to declutter and having to fix up the home because
Yes.
they let things go and all of these other things,
Right.
they actually had to relive the trauma that they had gone through all of those years. And I walked alongside them, and we did that together. And when it was all said and done, she said, God's gift to you is healing people through real estate.
Yes,
and
I love that.
And so it was one of those things I was like, I don't want that gift, God. I'm like, you can have it back. I'd like the easy layups and everything else.
Exactly.
But realizing how much of a gift that is, that we are being entrusted in different capacities of our journeys to actually heal people. And that's
Yes.
why I am an empath in a very different way. But at the same time, it's one of those things where I do take joy. Yeah, I don't work for free, right? That's not
Absolutely.
philanthropy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, walking away, the money is one thing, but knowing that I might have helped set a family on a better trajectory
Absolutely.
for their children
Yeah.
and for that next generation,
Absolutely.
I can feel like, I've done good with that. But that also means that is a lot of responsibility.
For sure. It is.
And going back to the community and making sure that you're surrounded with other people that are going to lift
Absolutely.
you up when you just go, I quit.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And then that's when I can go to a Michelle or a Charmaine and go,
Yes.
you're going to be fine, girl. It's going
Yes.
it's gonna be okay.
Yeah,
Let's talk
absolutely.
about
And
it.
we need that.
We do need it.
We need that.
And so I think that's, in going through all these things, your story is absolutely beautiful and amazing, and it doesn't stop there. And there's so many more layers to you. But leaving, our listeners with the understanding that you look fabulous. You have fabulous hair. You've got
gosh.
fabulous spirit. You've got a
Adorable.
fabulous dress. You've got all these
you.
things.
Thank you.
But there are so many things behind there that led you to this place. And then there's so many more things that will happen to lead you to your next place. And I think that's what's so amazing about what we do here is
Yes.
we are trying to be vulnerable and raw so
And
that
share.
and share so that other
yes.
people know that journeys are not pretty.
That's right. No.
They're messy.
No.
Yeah.
No, I just look like this. I just look like this. But on
Today.
the,
You may not
today.
look like that tonight.
Pajamas and your hair wrap, you said?
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly. So there's so much into it, and like you said, there are many layers. But to Michelle's point, which is my favorite thing I think of today, is being able to harmonize.
Yeah.
To harmonize and bring all those elements of our lives together.
Yep.
And it's not a balancing thing. It's in harmony.
Because if you try to balance it, you're going to lose.
Oh, I would lose every time.
Because sometimes it has to
There's no
it has
such
to
thing.
it has to change. And especially I've talked about it multiple times. I've got, a 10-year-old daughter who gets so much time for us and is homeschooled, and we're entrepreneurs, and I own the business with my mom, and my stepdad's a lender, and we live a half mile apart. And so she's in this tribe of entrepreneurs.
Right.
But she still craves for extra time and other things. And so to harmonize the family portion of it, which looks a little different, it's like we have to bring her into the fold a little bit. We have to do
Absolutely.
different things so that there is an ability to feather in the two worlds, because they really are one. Especially
Yeah.
when you're an entrepreneur, there's
That's
not
just how it
there's
is.
not work life and home life.
No.
They're the same.
Yeah.
Same. It's
Yeah.
It's one big thing, So.
But what is, let's leave our listeners with something. I think maybe not light, but what's something that you do with your honey, just with your husband,
Love
to
that.
kind
Great
of
question.
recharge and say, we're not talking about work for a minute, even if it's just 30 minutes or whatever it is. What's something you guys can do together to turn that off for just a second?
So it's for us, it's never turning it off because we are.
Well, now you just shamed me. Okay.
No, and it's okay because for some families it's like that, but for my family, it's never turning it off.
Yep.
Only because my husband and we are on a mission.
Yes.
To leave a legacy for our children, for our grandchildren,
Absolutely.
for their children. So we don't turn it off. So what we do is on Sundays, we have a date.
Okay.
Every Sunday, and it's our time to talk about the week. We talk about the bills, what bills need to be paid. We talk about our goals for the next week. If there's a task that needs to be dealt with at home, okay, are you going to do that or do you need me to do that?
So you're like
Michelle. What's your time?
Got it.
What,
I'm sorry,
what does that look like? And that's important. And we know that every Sunday that's what's happening. And I even reserve some of the emotional things that happen throughout the week for
good.
Sunday.
That's
because
good.
it gives me an opportunity to think about something and then come to him in a way that's not, you did this to me, but
that's not
babe,
okay.
Ashley can't comprehend. She's like, no.
Listen, I'm like, listen, fool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
I
you
know,
know
but
what? You know,
I have such a wonderful husband. He
But
takes
and
such
he has to take you the way you are,
100%.
right? And mine does.
Yeah.
And he lets me be who I am.
Yeah.
But he also still checks me in a way that's not. You're not the boss of me. But he'll say, no, we're not doing that. And it's like, oh, okay, we're not. Oh, okay.
Oh, that's hot.
Yeah. But I'm telling you, it's in a way. I love the way he handles me. I love the way he handles me because I am alpha. I have been a single mom. I've had to do it all.
Sure.
And so he knows and understands that if I had to, I could, but I don't want to.
Yeah.
I want to rely on him. I
And
want
that's
to
a great
lean
place
on
to be.
him.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
And so that's what we do. So when we come together, we love on each other. We talk through things. I think we've probably only had one argument since we've been married.
How long
and
have you been
next
married?
month it'll be 6 years.
Oh,
Nice.
Yeah.
that's really great.
Yeah.
That is great.
But I think it's all about communicating, and it's not a fairy tale thing. I think when we came together, we were both older.
Yeah.
And had experience. He had been married before. I've been married before. I've been in different relationships. So when you get to a certain age, you identify what you will and won't put up with.
Oh,
For sure.
amen.
Right?
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Hey, year 13 of our marriage versus year 1 looks very different.
Very
And- but we are
Absolutely.
still thick as thieves.
Exactly.
And
Celebrated our 30th year date.
Oh my gosh.
last
I'm
night.
looking forward to that. Ooh, I cannot
30 years
wait.
ago yesterday, we saw True Lies and had French fries at Denny's.
oh, I love
That's-
True Lies. And I love Denny's.
that. I love that.
Yeah.
I
That's
love
great.
that.
So is that what you do often? Do you still go to Denny's with your husband? No.
No.
So what does that look? Besides, don't repeat what she just said because they do the Sunday thing.
Yeah, we do the Sunday
They
thing.
do the Sunday
You
thing
do?
too.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
But-
Love it.
But yeah, is there anything that you and Alan do together that?
Gosh, we're close to that empty nest age. So
Yeah.
we do so many things together.
Yeah.
Because our
Right.
17-year-old is over us. So
Sure.
yeah. But since she's been gone the last couple weeks, we've really just enjoyed taking walks together
That's sweet.
Love that.
and having
Yes.
dinner together.
Yes.
That's great.
Because it's not the school year, so there's not that scramble of all the things.
Right.
Yeah.
So yeah, we have decided that we're going to make it past the empty nest phase. We're like,
yeah.
yeah, we'll stay married. I think we can do this. Like
Absolutely.
we're going to
Good
get
job,
along.
Michelle.
Yeah, it was like a trial period
Yeah.
for 2
Yes.
weeks, and we're okay with it. We're
Yeah.
good.
30 years. That is amazing.
We were
I'm looking forward
babies.
to that. I
Yeah.
am so looking forward to that with my husband.
Oh, you're on the right track if you guys are
If you're planning on Sundays.
Yeah, if you're
Yeah.
planning on Sundays. So mine's a little weirder, and I've shared it before, but it's not even it actually creates harmony in our life, and that's why
It's whatever works.
well, it's
Everyone is
whatever works.
different.
Well, no, so it's I do pickleball myself, but then as a family with our 10-year-old, our favorite show to all cozy up on the couch together is Law and Order Special Victims Unit.
Love it.
I love that.
Yeah, Marisha,
Ba-dum.
boom, boom.
I love that.
And so we do it, but you know what it is? But we actually still bring it into. again, it's the harmony piece. So you're absolutely right. It's not shutting off because it's never off.
No.
But it's a matter of that actually allows us to continue to dialogue. So where you guys are having that check-in with each other, it's like the show makes us check in with each other and our daughter.
Yes.
And so we actually will pause and have conversations because she goes like, what does that mean? No, she knows but an understanding. And so that creates, an opportunity. Reese got home from TRLP last night going to Austin.
Yes.
And immediately she's like, can we ride the moped? He's like, no. She goes, okay, Law and Order. And that was just her way of anchoring, and doing thing in that moment. And that's why everything looks different. So what you said, you said, what I said works for us.
Yes.
And I think, again, if we can just leave our listeners with something that means all of your journeys will look different.
Yes,
absolutely.
All
for
of
sure.
your abilities to recharge the battery or what fulfilling things look like to you looks very different.
Right.
And that is okay.
And that is
it's
okay.
okay. It's okay. If I had one thing to leave
Yes, please.
with our listeners today, first thing, check in with yourself.
Yep.
As a woman, we have many, many roles. There are many responsibilities, many duties, many things that we have to do. Check in with yourself. And sometimes I'll just look in the mirror. Shar, are you okay? You good, sis? You all right? Sometimes you have to check in with yourself.
so
and
good.
so I would just leave our listeners with check in with yourself, male or female.
Absolutely.
Because we are experiencing life in a different way. I mean, we live in a society. I don't
Very
know
rapid.
about you guys.
It's rapid.
This society right now, I feel so heavy.
It's very heavy.
It's heavy.
Mm-hmm.
And so sometimes you don't even realize that you're carrying the weight of the world on your shoulders.
Right.
And sometimes it's like, it's okay to set that down and be you and be okay.
Peace. That was me yesterday after the board meeting.
Yep.
This got a little heavy for me, so I'm going to duck
I'm out.
out. I need
Exactly.
a minute.
Exactly.
I got to check on Ashley.
Give yourself minutes
Yeah.
if you need it.
Yeah.
And it's okay to check out. It's okay not to show up
Yep.
somewhere. It's okay not to be where you said you were going to be if you need to check out. Because it's better for you to check out than to continue on and then there's something else that comes out of that.
Yeah.
For sure.
No, I completely agree.
So
Well, this was amazing.
Amazing. Thank you for being with us today.
Thank
It was
you
so
guys
good.
for having me.
And let's do it again after the book.
Book release. Yes, I will let you know. I will be sending invites for the book launch.
We love it.
Yes, so I'm excited. Thank you guys so much for having me.
Of course.
Thanks.
Till next time, guys.
All right.
Thanks so much.
Peace.
Bye-bye.
Woohoo!
Good. Girl, you guys, we could have gone.